Well, the reviews out of camp for Mac Jones, as we've talked about, and the Patriots' new offense have not been great. Monday's practice might have been rock bottom, with our own Phil Perry reporting that the, quote, offense looks broken. Yet, Mac came to the mic on Tuesday saying it's just that 2% we need to fix.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be more consistent, but, I mean, when you're out there and you know what exactly is supposed to happen on the play, you can actually see the play and how it's supposed to work, and that might be perceived as one thing, but really we're trying to do something and we know what we're trying to do. So it might not look pretty, maybe to you guys or something, but it could be exactly what we're supposed to be doing.
All right, so pretty positive attitude. Why? The Boston Herald's Curran and offers up this theory. Maybe it's reached the stage where Jones and company are just resigned to the fact this is how it's going to be and are trying to make the most of it. Maybe the unorthodox three-headed coaching contingent of Belichick, Matt Patricia, and Joe Judge have made it clear they're going to stick with the new offense, so they better learn and adapt or bust. Whatever the case, Jones clearly changed his tune or had someone strongly suggest that would be the better course. All right, the Patriots is, of course, where we kick off our deep dive, and Mac Jones. Tommy Curran here with me in studio, Phil Perry down at Gillette. That's what I said. That same day, I was like, boy, it sounds like somebody got in Mac Jones' ear and said, come hell or high water, we're doing this, so just get used to it.
Well, they should if that was the case, but I think that also it changed his tune from where? From the first week when he expressed, frustration and said it's a new offense? Because he is 1,000,000% allowed to do that. And I think that he did do that. But the number of times that he said buy-in, and the number of times that he said trust the system and the coaches, I think it's been a little bit egregious the number of times folks in the media this week have talked about a lack of buy-in from Mac and quitting on plays and giving up on things. I mean, I heard Tony Maz say that he has to shut his pie hole. When was his pie hole open to express anything at all in terms of quitting on plays or the Patriots losing him? You'd have to guard against any levels of frustration. But I think he understands that he is in the boat in his second year in the league, and he's going to be in that boat for a little while. So he better suck it up and enjoy it. And I think he's fully on board with that.
Yeah, the quitting on plays, Phil, kind of does confuse me because from what I've heard from the both of you, if anything, he's trying anything to extend a play, to get them some yards, to try and make the offense look like they're making progress. Phil, you're watching him every day at camp. What is his mindset? Like, what's your read on where Mac Jones's head is right now?
Resolute. I don't think he's thrilled with how things are going. That much is obvious, right? But there is a nose to the grindstone sort of attitude that I've been told has been expressed by Mac Jones behind the scenes. Similar to what he told us from the podium a few days ago where he said, I'm going to get this. I always have, I always will. I don't think that was a front. I don't think he was just paying anybody any sort of lip service by saying that. I believe that's what he believes. And again, he doesn't have to be happy-go-lucky Mac Jones to be bought in. He has to be focused. He has to attack his job in a certain way that the Patriots coaching staff and the rest of his teammates would expect from him, and he has. And so that's, I think, where he's at right now. Is he happy? No. But is he not bought in? That's something entirely different, and I don't believe he's gotten there.
Phil, both you and Tom said, listen, it's the right move. You can't start Mac Jones tonight, not with where the line is in front of him, and just there's no need to, right? But the slow rollout of the offense, the not playing in the preseason games, Phil, is that slowing his development? Because I think it's easy sometimes because in the way that he carries himself and the way people talk about him and the regard they hold him in, to forget that he is only a second-year quarterback. He is still learning the position in the NFL.
Is it slowing his development, I think, is a fair question, but I would say that moving your entire offense in a way, changing the language of your offense, changing the way you work protections, all of it is slowing his development, and it's in some way expected by Bill Belichick. I think his whole approach this offseason to change things the way he has, and apparently as drastically as he has, for the offense to have such a hard time getting going this summer, is they're going to take a step back to eventually take 2 steps forward. That, I think, is what is going on here. I don't think it's going to retard his progress, Tom, for the foreseeable future and put him off the rails for the rest of his career, but I think this is an expected step back to they're hoping improve the entirety of the offense moving forward long term.
Yeah, and I hate to keep coming back to the notion that it could be a rebuilding year, but I think it's a reset year the same way 2020 was. But this is with personnel, this is with scheme, this is with streamlining to pay dividends next year when they have more cap space and Mac's in his third year. But it does suck, and I'm sure it sucks for Mac Jones to have been a national champion at Alabama, 15th overall pick, take a team to the playoffs, go to the Pro Bowl, and then say, hey, we're going to rip everything down. And actually, we didn't even really try to re-sign that offensive coordinator that we saw all kinds of documentaries about how talented he was. So I think it has to be jarring to him. But again, you're in the boat. You can't see shore. You better just sit there and keep rowing.
I will say that if there's one thing about Mac Jones, it doesn't seem like someone who's going to give up or pout or pull an ego trip on anyone. I think he's going to do whatever he can to make sure things work out.